This is your announcer, Shannon Saint Mainframe, welcoming you to our IP Livecast. Can we wrap this show up? I was invited to a Memorial Day weekend barbecue with Mick Mars Iron Lung and the cruise control AI on Vince Neil's Zamboni. I don't want to be late. Obviously, you guys can't come. Vince Neil's weight loss machine is still annoyed at all the publicity you gave them. This is their first weekend off, you monsters. Our IP Livecast starts now.
Wrap it up. We just didn't even start yet. What's she talking about?
Like, chill out, girl. Like, relax. And also, why do you think the AI on Vince Neil Zamboni's cruise control knows who you are? Or how do you think you met Mick Mars Iron Lung?
She has a very inflated sense of self.
Well, that's why she fits right in here on RIP a Livecast. We are live, baby.
Guilty.
We're live every Saturday afternoon.
Oh, come on, of course.
Saturday afternoons at 11 a.m. Eastern Time.
Well, then that's before noon.
We're live Saturday mornings.
Hit the bland again. Let's start over.
Go. Welcome to the show. It's Rob here with Sid.
Hello.
And 3D, also known as Darren.
Both monikers work.
And thank you for joining us. Of course, you could follow us on social media, RIP Livecast. Chat with us all week long on Discord for free. You can get the invite at riplivecast.com. And send us your feedback, riplivecast@gmail.com. We have some emails to read later in the show. Hopefully, I'll remember to get to them.
I'll try to remind you.
Of course.
Of course.
It's been an interesting week for memes of the show. We have a few updates from various members of the of future Livecast Hall of Famers.
Oh, exciting!
And well, first off, we have one Philip H. Anselmo. Of course, Pantera's on.
Go ahead, sorry.
Of course, Pantera is on the road now. Pantera tribute, I should say.
You don't know me.
And so far, nothing really too controversial. I've been hearing good reviews, in fact, from people that have been seeing it live.
Phil's voice is holding up.
Phil's voice is holding up. The band sounds good. Zach Wilde is hitting the parts. Charlie Benante, of course, I feel always comes through. He's probably one of the most underrated drummers in thrash metal because he's so good. But so they were in Bulgaria, I believe, right? In Sofia.
Oh,
Sofia,
They
Bulgaria.
were all in Sofia
at the same time?
Wow. Kudos to her.
Is it Sofia? How do you pronounce it?
No, I wasn't saying you said it wrong. We were going for just a Sophia joke.
Yeah, it's a woman's name.
Sophia. So we're in Sophia, and I'm not sure exactly what the sign says, but Phil Anselmo, right before going into Cowboys from Hell, one of their signature tracks, he
does he tweak it every time to like Cowboys from Sofia, Cowboys from like whichever town they're in? He doesn't.
Well,
do that?
that wouldn't be. Then they're saying that the town that they're in is hell. That's not nice.
I mean,
we're the Cowboys from Sheboygan.
I think that would be a fun little Easter egg for the fans, for the local fans. Get
Sure.
a pop.
They should
I don't
do.
think they're playing Sheboygan.
They
though.
should
I think
do
they're
the-
big stadiums.
They should do the Shelbyville thing, like do the neighboring town.
That's good. Or like, I can't imagine when they're playing Giant Stadium, like, we're the Cowboys of East Rutherford.
Are they playing Giant Stadium?
Yeah, they're opening for Metallica.
But I will. But also, like,
Oh,
to be
this hell.
fair, nobody who plays Giant Stadium acts as if they're in New Jersey. It's an extension of New York City. They wouldn't even say East
Right.
Rutherford or New Jersey. They just say, "Hey, Cowboys from New York City."
The
I guess they would say
most-
Cowboys from Jersey.
No, they
Most of the
wouldn't say that
people-
either.
You don't think so?
No.
You think East Rutherford is still New York?
I think that's how people view it because it's the New York Giants and New York Jets that play there.
I see. Well, Philip H. So they were in Bulgaria, like I said, and there was a sign that Philip needed to acknowledge. So let's play that.
Ooh,
Quick,
there's
video
audio.
clip. There's audio and video. This is a
Oh.
very exciting moment for us here on the show.
Sophia,
Imagine this like one woman named Sophia in the stand.
He's like, what did I do?
What? What do you want?
What do you want? I
Could-
want to go home already.
Could you imagine how annoying it must be in general to be named Sophia and live in Sophia every fucking day with that shit? I would move. I would move to Sheboygan at that point.
And imagine like being the son of a woman named Sophia. The amount of your mom jokes, just unbelievable.
Yes.
I gotta say this. Incredible audience. One little thing. As a person over here holding up this sign trying to ruin the fucking show, I disavow. I disavow the fucking flag. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous, man. Keep politics out of shit. It's boring.
It must have been. It was the Confederate flag. What was it?
Apparently,
Well, I
yes.
imagine the sign says disavow the flag, the Confederate flag,
What?
because he's mad at listen to what he's saying. He's like, there's a person with a sign, not everything has to be political, man. I disavow. Like they're trying to push him to a political position.
Wait, you
which-
think someone in Sofia, Bulgaria had a sign with the word in English disavow on it?
I think so.
No.
Disavow the Confederate
I think
flag.
Dude probably just had a sign with like pictures
the
of
Confederate
Hitler with
flag?
the Confederate flag on it. And Dave was triggered
Oh, well,
by it.
here is a wider angle. Let's see if we can see it here.
Sophia,
What if there is no sign?
I'm
This is
just
a false
hallucinating, man.
Yeah.
This was a false Confederate flag operation.
Yeah, I don't see a sign.
One little thing. There's a person over here holding up this sign trying to ruin the fucking show. I disavow. I disavow the fucking flag. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous, man. Keep politics out of shit.
See, like, why would he say keep politics out of shit if the sign didn't have a political message?
Well, the
Like, if it
political
was just
message
a
was that the Confederate flag is cool.
But if the person was just holding a Confederate flag,
Uh-huh.
he would just be like, "Oh, I don't think it's cool to hold the Confederate flag." Well,
I
why
think
would he
he was-
acknowledge the politics of
Is
it?
Phil that articulate?
Yeah,
And
no,
on
he's
message?
already. He said no. This was like 5 years ago that he disavowed the Confederate flag.
Well,
He
I
thought
think
it
if
was
he saw
tasteless.
that flag in the stands, he would just be like, "Hey, man, cool flag." Like he would have
No,
forgotten
he
that whole
wouldn't.
thing.
He would
No, no,
not. He would
I
not.
think he
he's been very consistent about
But he
the
did- I
Confederate
don't-
flag is a dated thing.
But I don't think he would stop the show and be like, "Get that flag out of here." He might just ignore it, probably.
Mm-hmm. So you agree with me that it said something for him to?
Well, I'm not 100% convinced that there was any sign of any kind.
Well, yeah, okay. There's one
He
more.
He seems to be
There's one-
hallucinating.
Here,
In
there's
the
another-
post on Blabbermouth said he was addressing a fan in the audience who was displaying a sign that included Confederate flag imagery.
Oh, okay. But where is this flag?
Well, it's a huge
Here's
audience. It's
something from
probably a
the
dude
nose.
with a piece of paper.
A piece of paper. I mean, for Phil to see it on stage, wouldn't we have to be able to see it too?
No, but it's we're facing Phil, not the audience.
I don't know. I mean, look, where is the sign? Look, here's the crowd. Oh,
Right
okay,
there,
here's the
right
sign.
on the
I
left.
see,
On the
I see.
right.
I see it. I see. Okay, there's a sign. There's
little banner.
Oh no, that's a Bulgarian flag. That's not a
How-
sign.
You could that quickly and easily recognize
Yeah.
the fucking Bulgarian flag?
Yeah, well, there's a Bulgarian wrestler who who walked around with the Bulgarian flag, so it's easy for me to. It's white, green, and red.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the white. There's the
Keep
green.
your
and here's the
Bulgarian
red.
bullshit.
Yeah, there.
Keep your
there's
Bulgarian politics out of us.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be
That's
associated
not what
with
he
that
was
flag either.
referencing. So where is the sign? This is like we're studying this like as a Pruder film. Where is this sign?
It's like,
Maybe
where,
it's back
though?
and to the left.
It's like, where's Waldo?
Yeah.
Oh, he said it. Sophie. So no flag.
Whenever Pantera comes up, I do that Stone Cold Steve Austin impression that our did that one. Who's Stone Cold Steve Austin? I just want you guys to play some fucking Pantera. Let's play some
I missed that guy.
Pantera.
That guy was good. It sounded like a caffeinated Sean, basically.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about hearing about no piss or no fucking shit in your pants. I just want to hear some Pantera. And that's
I
about
want to hear about Bulgarian flags.
I don't care about Bulgarian flags. What? I don't want to hear about Confederate flags. What? Let's play some damn Pantera.
Cowboys from Hell. But then I guess Phil also was like interviewed. I guess this is from 2016. This is what you were referencing earlier, I guess, Rob?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I think, during like the George Floyd thing he was asked about it, and he was like, yeah, you know.
But there's this quote in this article where he basically blames Lynyrd Skynyrd for Pantera's use of the Confederate flag.
He doesn't blame them. He says that's who they were inspired by. They saw Lynyrd Skynyrd do it, so that's why they did it.
It functions
that's not
as
blaming
blame.
them.
Yeah.
It functions as blame.
He's not saying Lynyrd Skynyrd made us do it. He's saying that's what they were inspired by.
But when you're being criticized for something and you go, Lynyrd Skynyrd did it, that's why we do it. It functions as blame. It's not directly blame, but it comes off as blame.
This other
Why are you
vaguely
making me
racist band
defend
did it.
Philip
It's not
H?
our fault. What?
Why are you making me defend Philip H?
That's your choice, brother.
Yeah. Blame it on the white wine.
No, because I remember the thing was that, okay, so that was after, because in 2015, I remember Vinnie Paul was adamantly pro Confederate flag, saying, all I'm going to say is it's a big knee-jerk reaction to something that happened. It's unfortunate that people are like that. They want to point a finger at something. Honestly, this country is built on freedom of speech and freedom of expression. And when you can no longer do that, it's no longer based on that. You know, it's a touchy thing. And that's really all I'm going to say about it. I just think
and we see how things turned out for him.
The country was built on and what it was based on. And then Anselmo said that he was thinking twice about his past associations with the rebel flag, saying it'd be like, would we be flying the Nazi flag? He asked a Hard Rock Haven interview. I don't think so, because flags are looked at, whether it be nationalisms or symbols of something. Truthfully, it's like, I wish everyone would just get along. See? The singer went on to explain that the reason he and his former bandmates might have used the Confederate flag in the first place was our love of bands like Lynyrd Skynyrd. But he also acknowledged there was never a time when it was okay to promote hate. He also offered another possible explanation, saying it was never this blatant thing unless I was completely out of my mind, which I was at points in time, but that's a long time ago.
You know, you saw how well the flag worked out for Lynyrd Skynyrd. They're all dead. So,
yeah. Well, so it's supposed to Pantera.
Well, I was gonna say maybe Pantera used it maybe one half as much as Lynyrd Skynyrd, so only half of them are dead.
So this is the part that sold me on what and some he says, this days I wouldn't want anything to fucking do with it, because truthfully I wouldn't. That's these days I wouldn't want anything to fucking do with it, because truthfully I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I sure would.
But hold on, then he goes to say, the way I feel and the group of people I've had to work with my whole life, you see the Confederate flag out there that says heritage, not hate. I'm not so sure I'm buying into that.
No.
People can point out flaws in any social group, any ethnic group, any ideology. Oh, he's all sidesing it.
Yeah,
I
he
would've-
really is.
I would have, if I was the reporter, I would have followed up. Could you point out some flaws in some of the ethnic groups, Phil, please? Let's hear what they are.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely witnessed firsthand some very problematic, likely heroin-induced Phil Anselmo verbal rants when
Oh,
watching
yeah?
Superjoint Ritual live, and
Like what?
Yeah.
just like I mean, I feel like I've seen him do like a white power thing.
Like what? Like
or
a
like
verbal,
something very-
verbal or a gesture?
Verbal, like a verbal, like kind of like, "Hey, why don't you shut up before I don't-" like just a heroin induced ramble where I was like, wait, what did he, like
Did he fall asleep during the sentence? Because that would be a
Almost.
heroin-induced ramble.
The
Don't.
thing. Oh, go ahead, Darren.
I
Sorry.
was gonna say, don't make me a curb stomp you, boy.
And then he falls asleep halfway there.
well, when he
weird
lifts
thing
his
to
foot up,
me-
he falls over backwards.
He falls on the curb.
His sleep apnea transpired upon the stage.
The weird thing to me is of all the things to be influenced by Leonard Skinner, like they had a piano in their band. Maybe Pantera could have done a piano. Maybe Pantera could have just covered a Leonard Skinner song. Why? This great musical influence, and the thing you take away is just they had this specific flag on stage. That's it. That's the influence.
But I mean that they were pretty closely linked to the flag, though. I don't think that's that far of a thing. Like I take them at their word for that, and also I think a lot of Southern bands would a lot of white Southern bands would have done that. I don't know.
Guess.
I
Because
think
their
a lot.
logo, Leonard Skinner's logo, had the Confederate flag in it for a long time.
Well, I also think a lot of people sincerely believe that the flag was like a white, not a white, a Southern heritage thing.
Yeah.
And they without any malice, like they really bought
Yeah.
into that. It's a false statement, but it's like doesn't mean that they're maliciously. I think the awareness campaigns of the later years made people stop doing that, but I think some people like legitimately bought into that without hating black people.
Yeah.
I agree. I completely agree with you, Darren. But then when it was pointed out to them that actually this is what this means, they start getting all defensive. Like,
Right.
no, it actually means something completely different to me, and my definition, like, supersedes your definition.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's when
Of
my
it.
generosity of their rhetoric disappears if they persist. I always give people the benefit of the doubt if they're unaware of what the impact of their statements are. But if they keep staying on the same rails when it's explained to them, then they lost the benefit of the doubt.
I agree with you there.
And yeah, Quickman Cometh points out Neil Young and Leonard Skinner had a beef back in the day because of Neil Young's song Southern Man about people in the South being racist. And then Leonard Skinner called Neil Young out in Sweet Home Alabama. So that was like an early like rap beef kind of East Coast, West Coast kind of thing, but with like gray-haired classic rockers.
East Coast, Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
All right. Transitioning to something a little lighter.
Oh.
That
was lighter.
okay?
You're right.
What?
I've ranted before about how much I am not a fan of the growing world of weed culture. And it just got a bit more cringy, folks, because as broken by TMZ Sports, Hulk Hogan now has a brand of mushrooms, THC, and cannabinoids. So I guess that's like CBD stuff.
Are mushrooms legal?
They are increasingly getting legalized. Yes.
Okay.
Indeed.
Maybe like
there's
in
actually
Colorado?
a lot of they're legal in Colorado. They're decriminalized in a bunch of states. They're like the next thing to get legalized, which I think is great. And what's really interesting is now there's exploration. You know how like the stereotypical positive hallucinogenic experience with mushrooms would be like, oh, I really I felt so great, and I discovered myself. So now doctors are studying microdosing them so you can get some of the positive mental stimulation without the hallucinogenic effects. So it's pretty interesting where it's going. It's being used as a natural treatment for things like depression and anxiety.
Feeling like a pig before sex.
So there are actual uses for it, but then also with things being legal, as Deuterino pointed out in our chat, that they're also legal in Oregon. I believe all drugs are legal in Oregon. Oregon made all drugs legal because they don't want to
Crack?
Yeah, you can't get arrested for like drug possession anymore. It's more about because they don't want to put drug addicts into the prison system. They'd rather get them help. That's kind of the idea behind it. Shifty Shortcake says, "Say your prayers, smoke your weed." Doesn't quite have the same ring to it.
It's more honest, though.
You don't have to smoke the weed. You could also consume a gummy. It's not necessarily a smokable.
Yeah, that's like a vitamin. It's like a Flintstone vitamin.
If you are trying to use it as a medicine, there are medicinal ways to do it where you're not inhaling carcinogens. But anyway, so Hogan is now promoting a new line. So here's how I saw this working. Is Mike Tyson was the guy to license his name because he has a brand of weed products. And to be clear, it's not like Mike Tyson woke up one day and was like, I want to make a dent in the cannabis industry. That's not what happened. What happened was a guy with a big ass fucking cannabis brand got drunk with Mike Tyson at a bar one day and was like, I will give you this amount of money to put your name on my brand of weed and free weed, probably.
So why not?
Like, sure. Yeah, sure. And then after that, Mike got his friend, Ric Flair, to do like a flavor in the Mike Tyson brand of weed. And so Ric Flair had a flavor, and I can't tell, like Ric Flair has been posting these Instagram reels of him smoking a doob with Mike Tyson, and I've never felt more cringed.
Really?
Like it feels so, like, I don't know, I feel like I should think this is cool, but I don't.
Not even when we read your live journal?
More cringe than that, yes, because I just don't believe that Ric Flair is a pothead.
Why?
He strikes me as more of a coke guy.
I sympathize with that. I think
coke
that's
and alcohol, not a pothead. So I feel he's like a poser.
Yeah, I don't think it's like he never smoked weed.
I'm sure he did, but it's just not his go-to.
Right. Exactly.
Maybe it is in his old age.
Maybe it's true. Well, now,
but he's selling it on the strength of being Ric Flair. Like Ric Flair knows weed and everything, and like
right.
I definitely see him as more of an alcohol and cocaine guy.
Well, now I guess Ric Flair was telling his good friend, and they are good friends, Hulk Hogan, how much money he was making with this weed licensing. And since nobody really wants to fucking talk to Hulk Hogan, he's like, yeah, I need some money. I'll do some weed licensing. And so now Hulk Hogan went on TMZ. Here's an example of like a cringe thing I'm talking about here. Here he is with his son-in-law on a video that looks like it was filmed on like a Nokia from 2005.
Oh, this is Ric Flair.
This is Ric Flair, yeah.
Go woo on a bitch. Woo! Manny, you're the man.
Hold on, we'll let it play back around. And he's hyping his joints.
Who's the next boy? And the one and only Andrade. The man, the myth, the legend. Smoking Ric Flair drip.
His son-in-law, by the way.
And his son-in-law, Andrade, by the way, is just so, like, he's also a wrestler. So he has, he's a second-generation wrestler. He has an immense amount of respect for Ric Flair. And it's very much the vibe of, like, I don't want to offend my wife's father. And I think this guy's such a wrestling legend. I'll just do whatever he says. And that's totally, like, this might be Andrade's, like, 5th time smoking weed ever. Oh. And he's just like, yeah, sure.
Really? You think a wrestler touring with a gigantic company doesn't have weed in his face all the time?
Yeah, right?
Well, they get fined for it. So.
I bet they do.
They do.
Please.
They still do it. For many, they just considered it the pot tax. They had it like they're like, all right, this is what we got to pay to smoke weed on the road. But yeah, so you get it. Anyway, so here's Hulk Hogan announcing his weed brand, and let's see how he brings it up.
Hulk, you have obviously everyone knows who you are and what you've accomplished, and now and tell me if I have this wrong.
And who you fucked and who
Why
you've made racist comments towards.
Why does the Hulkster need sunglasses on top of his head? He's indoors. It's
Yeah.
daytime. Like what? I don't understand.
And
There's
is
a
he
lot of
To have
great
that
points
for
here.
this interview.
is he face tuning himself again?
It looks
No,
like
there
he
does
might.
not seem to be any face tune on this, I feel.
It looks like a lot less wrinkles than I'm accustomed to with him.
I think it's just the compression of the webcam image.
Also, just look at the face he's making. It's like he's on a Zoom session with Ellison whacking off. He's like sexually delighted to see something right now.
Yeah.
This is not like business Hulk. This is bedroom Hulk we're getting right now.
Bedroom eyes.
Wrong, Hulk. You are getting into business with one
Or he's
of
just that
the,
high.
Yeah.
guys who has really taken over the marijuana and the CBD industry in Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah, I am. You know, Mike and Ric Flair.
Mike and Rick, right? Your buddy Ric
yeah,
Flair.
we're all getting together. We're the Three Musketeers now.
Yeah, what do you have going on? I know you have
Money. It's money. It's all
I-
about money.
I just want to say, like, to make a little aside here, you know, Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair famously, both inside the ring and out behind the scenes, hated each other for a long time. And I find it so ironic and sad and pathetic how they're just the same guy, and they alienated everyone in their lives, and the only people they have now
Is
is each other.
It's
There's no one
totally
left.
that. You've nailed it. They were so competitive with each other during their primes that they would never be seen in the same room with each other and couldn't stand each other. But then they came to realize, like, oh, we have all the same insecurities. And
Yeah, we're the
like-
same person.
And also Hulk Hogan, like Ric Flair's biggest insecurity in his life was always that Hulk Hogan was ranked number one as like the best wrestler, and he was ranked number two. And he felt that was unfair because to wrestlers would say he was the better wrestler.
Hogan
But
was
of
the more
course,
famous.
right. He drew more box office. He made more money. But also because he was working for the bigger company. So it was always 1 and 2. And it was and Hogan would never agree that Flair was the better wrestler. Also, because Hogan, ironically, Flair brought Hogan into WCW, and then they had another wave of hatred because Hogan they would be politicking for the top spot. And it was only until after both got out of professional wrestling full time that Hogan finally started being like, yes, Flair's the best wrestler. And I think the only reason he says that is he knows that Flair would not be his friend unless he admitted that. And like he realizes at this point it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he's already made the money. So sure, I can acknowledge you as the best wrestler.
Yeah. And the thing about making the money versus being the best in-ring wrestler, I think among wrestlers, at least maybe not so much recently, but over the past 30 years or so, that was always considered a mark thing. Like among wrestlers, they were like, okay, you're a great wrestler at this thing that we're doing that's fake, that we're predetermined, but I'm drawing more money, so which one matters more? So to sit there and be
What
mad
is
that
the true mark of a great wrestler? Someone that has a good match or someone that draws the most money?
right.
Yeah. So let's hear more of Hogan's logic here. This is like going to Ja Rule for political.
Where's John?
of a new line. It's not just CBD, THC as well, and also mushrooms, which I know is something that a lot of people have been getting into lately. So why don't you tell us what you have going on, Hulk?
Well, across the board.
Man, I just want to pause 1 second. Watching Hulk squint to like see and understand, because clearly he wears glasses, and to see what's going on and hear this, and just seeing him in his old age, it's so hard for me to see. Like it's hard for me to watch.
It's a
makes
miracle
me
he's
see
still
my-
alive. Be happy
But
that he's
yeah, I know.
lasted this
Yeah,
long.
that's true.
I'm afraid
That's
to
true.
like. Oh, go ahead, sir. Sorry.
I was just gonna ask who the guy who's sitting with him is.
That's probably the actual billionaire who runs the fucking
okay.
weed company. To
Really,
answer
a
the technical
billionaire?
stuff.
I don't know.
Well, whatever. A millionaire, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy with the money mark.
I was gonna say, like I sort of reluctant to admit, but I kind of identify with Hulk Hogan in one way, and that's that he never stopped being like 27 years old. You know what I mean? And it worries me. Like if I'm gonna be 71 like him and like just still mentally in my 20s, you know, because it's very cringy.
But like, how do you want to be at 71? What would be your preference then, if not that way?
I'd like to be, you know, keep discovering myself and adding new things to my repertoire, unlike Hulk Hogan. I mean, Hulk Hogan just kind of floats through life looking for adulation and
But
attention.
he adds new weed promotions and restaurants. He added a karaoke
Yeah,
night.
he's doing karaoke.
He
night.
added a
That wasn't
bikini
in his repertoire
contest.
10 years ago.
Okay, fair enough. Good for him.
I think honestly, yeah, like if anything, Hogan is becoming more and more desperate. He's realizing that his claim to fame and his like hold on fame is ever fleeting,
Right.
and he's trying to recapture it any which way he can, especially after the misunderstanding with what he said.
There's
on those
eventually
tapes.
going to be a point where he's like Karl Gotch, you know, and nobody knows who the fuck he is except as like a dusty reference that people throw out there.
Yeah, I think it's kind of. I think with wrestling,
Eventually.
the last few times he's been in front of the crowd in WWE, people have booed him. Like
Yeah.
a lot of
Wow.
people don't remember who he was. They just know about the stories. you
They
know?
know. Well, think about it. If you're like a 25-year-old wrestling fan, what do you know of Hulk Hogan? You're immersed in the first thing you may have learned about him was that he's a racist.
And if you
Deuterino
go
said-
back
oh,
on
sorry.
YouTube and like watch his classic matches, like it's not like you're going to be blown away by anything. You're just going to be like, this guy in his prime was bald and couldn't wrestle. Like, why was he so famous?
You definitely needed the context of the times and the storyline,
Yeah.
and in that context, it definitely works. Like I'll never detract from what Hulk Hogan did, but you're right. If you just watch a clip, you don't get the full impact of why he was important at all.
Not at all.
Deuterino says his coffers aren't so deep anymore. I would disagree with that, just because he won a $125 million lawsuit from Gawker Media. So
Yeah.
See, Rob,
money-wise, he's probably doing okay.
you and I have gone back and forth on this. I listen. The guy's not living in under a bridge. I get that, but he may have blown through an awful lot of that money.
I'm just saying, like, he could not be in front of the camera.
Did he get all of that money?
No, absolutely not. Because
And did Linda get some
a
of
lot
it?
of it? No. Wait, what? Linda?
Hogan?
Oh, his wife. Oh, no,
Bubba
that was
Love
already
Sponge?
after his divorce.
Oh, she doesn't get future earnings.
Oh, I'm not sure if he pays her alimony. I mean, he gave her half of all of his money.
And
or
his kids,
or
I'm sure,
most.
take a shit ton of his money.
He gave her half of his kids.
I'm sure she could have all of them if he wants.
All right, well, let's see a little more of this Hulk Hogan THC.
Hulk Hogan.
Lord, it's a fitness and wellness journey. And in the last 10 years,
His
I've had
wellness
28 surgeries. It's just been insane. And from everything I've been through, the pain and the inflammation and the prescriptions of doctors.
And feeling like a fat pig,
all the
brother.
training prayers and eat your vitamins kind of get rattled a little bit. So
Oh,
there was a
use
way
the line. Hold on.
the doctor, 10 years, I've had 28 surgeries. It's just been insane. And from everything I've been through, the pain and the inflammation and the prescriptions the doctors would give you, that whole training prayers and eat your vitamins kind of get rattled a little bit.
Well, that's the
So,
new training prayers and
slow
vitamins.
walking.
It's the inflammation, the pain, and all the surgeries. That's the new slogan.
Back to get back to center, to get back to health again. And, when I saw what Rick and Mike were doing, I instantly wanted to get on the team because to use CDB for energy,
CDB?
for sleep, for fitness, it just made sense. It's a logical extension.
The poor
of where
guy
I
on the
already
right
was,
there.
but this is the safe
CBD,
way
this
to
schmuck.
fix
What did I
things
get myself
instead
into?
of that wild card way from the doctors and the
Right.
prescription stuff. It just didn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, has this been helpful, Hulk? Obviously, the surgeries, what your body has been through, has been well documented, and we know that these pain pills are so incredibly addicting and so dangerous.
If I was this announcer, I'd just keep
Has
trolling him and
CBD
say,
and
ask
has
him
THC
CDB
made a
questions.
big difference.
Just
in
ask
how
him what
you
it
feel on
stands for. Real quick, Hulk, THC, what's that?
We were
day
joking
in, day
around
out
in
basis
the
physically?
Discord that he's in a few weeks he's going to claim that he invented the pot plant.
Well, it definitely helped me because, as I said, the slow walk back from the prescription drugs ended with me downing the Tylenols and the Advils and the Aleve, and finally, even that wasn't working for me. So as I moved away from that and got into the CBD world, it really changed the game.
The guy kicked him under the table.
The inflammation, the way my wrists and my joints hurt across the board, it helped me with my health.
Chad, how about getting into a business with a guy like Hulk? We know how big the partnership with Mike has been, and with Rick too. How about getting into it with the guy who you might be the greatest and the most famous wrestler to ever step foot in the ring?
Listen, you know what I've learned. You being at TMZ, you've dealt with a lot of celebrities. We work with Mike and Rick, and spending time with Hulk over the past several months. Like, they're a different breed in the sense of how they treat people. Right? They're hardworking. They
take their penises out whenever they want.
Actually work and make sure that if their name's on it, they're hustling it and making sure that people understand the value. And I think, it gives the cannabis space, the CBD space, the mushroom space, they're destigmatizing it, because you're seeing a lot more sports organizations like the NBA. The NBA is now coming out and saying that you can use THC, right? And CBD is now sponsoring.
It's crazy
PFL.
that it's taking.
So you're going to see more. UFC is more open to it. So more and more organizations are getting involved in the fact that how they help people. And so working with Hulk, working with Rick, and working with Mike has been amazing. And we're excited. And, we're going to continue.
Hulk really looks like he's getting jerked off
there for the first time.
Oh,
is there a place for these products, and could they be useful amongst active professional wrestlers?
Well, in my opinion, yes. I mean, I always joke about I didn't get the memo that this stuff was fake. And after the 10 back surgeries and 2 knees and 2 hips, it's just a situation.
I actually beat the Ultimate Warrior, brother.
Well, I didn't know if I was going to beat Andre, dude, until we got out to the ring, brother.
I just picked him up and slammed him down, Jack. That was just my job. No one told me he was going to lay down for me, brother. I don't know what RIP stands for, but CDB stands for Calzone Bloated Depression.
Get hurt out there all the time, especially the first 20 years. I never put my hand up. And when I went back to wrestle The Rock, Vince McMahon goes, well, if you're going to get a chair shot, you got to put your hand up. I said, why? Because I always took it wide open. So the brain fog.
How many chair shots did Hulk
ever take? He's never taken a fucking shit. Get out of here.
That's honestly, if he was more honest, he could be like, listen, I am proof at how brutal the wrestling industry is, because I never did anything in my matches and I'm still a physical mess now. Well, that's how bad it is.
I think he wants to go the other way with it and say he got fucking CTE from a chair shot, and that's why I said the N-word 100 times.
Very clever.
That's a good point. But he did say that the reason that he's had to have 7 hip surgeries is because a 30 years of dropping on his hip doing the leg drop.
Oh, get out of here. He's landing on soft people underneath him.
No, he's not. He's landing on the mat. And the mat is just like a piece of...
Sid, he was landing on very hard people underneath him.
Well, just the Sheik that one time.
Gave me clarity and straightened things up for me. I feel better than I've ever felt at 69 years old. I feel like I'm 25 again.
Wow.
Nice.
So at the end of the day...
Oh, look, he feels like he's 25 again there.
Yeah, just like you said.
But I don't believe that, because he's talking about physically. Mentally, yes.
Especially now, as hard as they're running, they do more stuff in the ring in one match than I did in a whole month, and they're just tearing their bodies up.
That's
and working
a little bit of
hard.
honesty there.
A month is generous.
Yeah, I think also the component of sleeping, right? A lot of professional athletes, with the pressure they're under, they don't sleep. So their health and wellness is about bringing different.
Hogan's glare when he's not talking is really uncomfortable.
I'm telling you, it's like he's watching people fuck.
He's just always been, even young. He's a very strange person to look at.
Yes. Oh, it's a smile.
It's a very off-putting face.
The
handlebar mustache.
The handlebar is very well manicured. Like, just over the lip. Like no one hair longer than another.
I can appreciate the craftsmanship while also saying that it's hideous to look at.
Yes, agreed.
Yes,
it's a bad choice.
But can you imagine what he would look like without it at this point? He would look even older.
Well, that's why he feels he has to keep it. He can't change anything about his appearance because he's afraid people would look at him funny.
He will look like an old man. Did you ever see those Photoshop pictures of like Trump without any of the tan or anything, or the hair piece. That's what Hulk Hogan
lock
would look.
yourself in. Yeah.
Wait a minute, Flair hasn't slept for about 30 years.
He's sleeping better now.
Yeah.
Well,
did you ever think
the
Hulk that-
THC after a night of cocaine?
Yeah.
Any one of those sleeps could be the last one, so you gotta be careful.
Oh, he even throws a bicep. Hold
what
on.
is this?
Year 70
What?
say, hey, I feel
Stop.
better than I felt in like 4 decades. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
I mean, I train a couple hours every day, so
Oh boy.
it's like it's still there, it's still there, and I feel
not.
I don't train, it's who I am.
Right.
But train through the injuries, it's always been tough. But to have the CDB
He has
reduce the
the
inflammation,
CDB.
reduce the pain, it's just so important. And when you're in pain, you got a grumpy face.
All right, I want to play this one other video of Ric Flair and Mike Tyson smoking weed because it makes me feel so uncomfortable.
Ric Flair drip.
Ric Flair drip is the name of the strain.
Here we are.
It's what he leaves on flight attendants' foreheads.
This feels like a nightmare blunt rotation to me. I would not want to get high with this.
I'm afraid.
You don't want to put anything in your mouth that was in either of their mouths. You guaranteed herpes. Guaranteed herpes.
I feel like they'd have been treated for their herpes by
No.
now.
No.
No, you don't
What?
think they
That's
get
not a
tested?
tattoo on Tyson's face. That's the herpes
Oh, that's
flare up. It's just spreading because it's not treated.
Oh, I see.
It's horrible.
Sad. Do we want to watch a quick clip of him smoking weed with Jarogan?
Which, Flair or Tyson?
Flair.
Sure.
All my stuff here, ma'am. Oh, shit. Hey, woo choose. Woo choose. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Nervous just looking at them. Yeah. Oh, you got a drink? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put my name on anything.
That's just energy drink. Oh, okay. Energy and focus. I need energy and focus. This is fucking tasty. What is this? Good? Isn't that good? Mushroom blend, it says? Yeah. What's in here? I don't know. Be careful reading all the ingredients.
I love that. What's in here? I don't know. They just fucking write me a check.
Yeah.
And by the way, Flair is not drinking that. He's drinking a beer. And
He knows
got,
better.
I think he's got the tobacco.
Sparkling mushroom elixir. All right. How cool. And what's that? Pre-roll? Nice. I need to spark one up with Ric Flair. Let's do it. High flying. Yeah. Limousine riding.
Jet flying. Dumb fuck.
I'm only having one hit with you, man. Okay. That stuff is strong. That's the infused. It smells strong. Yeah. Jesus Christ. It smells like that stuff that Ron White had that put everybody into a coma. Yeah. It does me. Mike can smoke it like crazy. How's it taste? Good?
It's so sad that Flair is not a pothead, but he just has to smoke this stuff because it's like that's how he makes money. And he's like, all right, I'm just going to go to bed.
I mean, there's worse
Little bit.
things to be forced to do.
I mean, I guess it's for the best.
Cross this off my bucket list. Yeah.
I don't know, like, I am a huge Ric Flair fan, despite knowing
everything
about him. I don't know if I'd want to smoke weed with Ric Flair. It'd get really awkward, probably. I feel
Why?
I'd start feeling, I don't know. I don't know if that's something I want to do.
Because he's too old, or
I think it might staunch any of the good qualities that Ric Flair has that you want to experience.
Yeah.
It would shut him up, probably.
Paranoia hole. Yeah, exactly.
I want to hear 2 hours of stories about Ole Anderson on the crapper. I don't want. I don't want him taking a nap on the couch in the corner.
Dudorito says Hogan will say he was in a deleted scene for Up in Smoke. Yeah, he's the one that gave Cheech and Chong their ideas.
Brother, I was originally cast in a Dave Chappelle role in Half Baked, brother.
it was fully baked.
Yes. It was fully baked till they took me out of it, brother. Jack.
They offered him the Bob Saget part, and he balked.
Dude.
He's not saying those lines.
Yeah, in my other show, Canitro, where I watch every
Is
episode
that how
of
it's
Nitro.
said?
Yeah.
Okay.
The K is not silent.
Is it Knot Fest also?
No, it's not Fest, but we jokingly call it Canitro. Because the original show is called Nitro. So
should call it Knot Fest.
Well, we on our show we call it Knot Fest Canitro for sure. But in the proper way, you don't You don't say it.
So you're just
but anyway,
improper.
we're Hulk Hogan is the featured player on the first. I mean, throughout most of Nitro, and it is unbearable. Just like I can't imagine in 1995, like he's on his last breath as a baby face. This is right before the NWO turn, and and he just can't break the gimmick of saying like brother and dude. I want to just read
how he talks.
We did a review, and like there's one monologue that he gives where he's talking about the Dungeon of Doom and how they've been really messing with his life. And he goes, I walk through the valley of the Dungeon of Doom, brother. I fear no evil, dude, because the only thing to fear is evil itself, brother.
Wait, what?
Is that
he
what Hulk
fears no evil because you should fear evil?
The only thing to fear is evil. He fucked up the line.
Is that when he put on all black and he got rid of the red
Yes.
and yellow and started
Yes.
he became
And
Dark Hulk?
But not real. The announcers
Right.
were saying he became Dark Hulk, but he
Supposedly.
acted completely the same other than changing his clothes. There was
That
nothing dark about it.
Dude, I recommend that Dungeon of Doom angle to anybody. We watched one of the matches on our Patreon.
Yes.
But that whole angle from beginning to end is just chef's kiss.
It's
Wonderful.
It's so bad. It's actually good.
And it was assembled just exclusively to be a jobber stable that Hulk Hogan could beat the shit out of every single one of them, one after the other. It's hilarious. Who was that older dude that they got to be the grand wizard of the
Curtis Iakea, the wizard?
Yeah, right. Yeah, he was just like, I'm Kevin Sullivan. You will do my bidding and destroy Hulk Hogan. It's just the best shit. It's amazing.
Yeah, you could.
And now because of that, he has to do CDB. Very sad. Very sad. In the end, the Dungeon of Doom wins because of what they've driven the Hulkster to.
Mm-hmm. Constant diarrhea and bloating. That's what he's doing.
Gotta stop eating all that Italian food.
Yeah, well, listen, that's his sex pregame. What are you gonna do?
And all the wings and tater skins.
It's just like the manicured mustache and the bleach. You can't change up your routine after 69 years.
I wonder, not that I've ever had my pussy eaten, but I wonder how it feels to have your pussy eaten by Hulkster with that facial hair situation. Like, does it tickle a lot? Is it scratchy?
I think there's some chemical burn off from all the dye he
Oh my
has.
God.
Malformed lips.
Does he
If
like
you had
immediately
your
have to
pussy
like
eaten
wash
by
his
Hulk
face?
Hogan.
What?
I was gonna say, if you had your pussy eaten by
call
Hulk
us.
Hogan.
Can we do a cameo and have Hulk Hogan maybe try to reach out to him and get him to eat Sid's pussy? Seems like deprived. You said you never had it
like
eaten.
a pantomime of it. Is Hulk Hogan on Cameo?
I don't believe so. Let's see.
He skipped past that to his own weed brand.
No, he is not.
He's
I
high
guess
level.
he does his own. Like you can go to his website and order a cameo from his website.
Oh, really? How much does it cost?
Let me see.
I bet it's very expensive.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry. You can meet him in Florida.
Oh, at his restaurant, I guess?
Yeah, he only does in-person meetups.
Okay, and how much does that cost?
Let's see. Secure your spot. Any guesses?
I'm going to say between $250 and $300.
Darren, do you have a guess?
You're muted.
Sorry. I'm gonna go. Oh, you know what? No, wait. I'm gonna change. I was about to go lower, but reading through this, standing face to face with Hulk Hogan, I'm gonna say $800.
Wow. Okay. Rob, do you have a guess?
Well, I know the answer. So,
Okay.
Quickman comment says $1,000. The answer is in fact $200.
Oh,
my
wow.
goodness! Wow, Sid.
Standard ticket. Oh, hold on. That's a
Oh,
standard.
it's a
Premium.
standard ticket.
Well, how much is the premium? Premium 300.
300, okay,
Additional
yeah.
premium. Okay, I think a premium. So 300, I would say, is probably the real one.
And what does the premium get you?
Replica belts, high-end figures, Okay, so it depends on. A ticket gets you a picture with Hogan and one autograph, and then a premium ticket he'll actually. Oh, sorry, a standard ticket. He'll sign reprint posters, 8x10s, T-shirts, bandanas, a basic figure, a magazine, or a weight belt. But if you want him to sign a replica belt or a high-end figure, a Hasbro, or all these things that you could actually make money off of, he charges you an additional $100.
Well, let me ask this question: do they supply the thing that he's signing, or is this just like if you bring these
No,
things?
you bring.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I mean, that's honestly though.
You could buy it there, sure, but that's a separate fee.
That seems like a somewhat good deal though. Because I mean, I was just talking to somebody. I forget who it was recently that was like they were going to see Ryback sign somewhere. He was asking like $60. Who the fuck is Ryback? You know what I mean? It's this Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
Hulk Hogan's an embarrassing cringe mess. Like, let's be real. But he's still Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean?
For a convention, like the default price is usually like $50 or like 20 to 50, but I would say 50. Because like 20 would be for like an indie guy.
Well, Greg the Hammer Valentine was getting 10. I don't know if you remember that. Remember that story?
But that wasn't at a convention. That was at a wrestling show.
Just to this day, that's one of the most cringe for someone else experiences I've ever had.
He's still alive, right?
Yeah, he does all these great shoots now. They have like 40 video. There must have been like a 10-hour video that they cut up into clips that they keep getting suggested to me because of the algorithm, and I watch everyone straight through whenever it comes on. He's such an entertaining guy to listen to.
Wow.
Oh, you could buy Hogan's trousers. That's nice.
Excuse me?
I'll pass on that.
What? Like worn?
He heard that women were selling their used panties, so he
like signed Hulkamania.
Oh, come on.
Package.
Wait, no, I think that means he signs your package.
Is this match used?
It doesn't.
Does it have his sweat funk on it? Is Muffler in there?
Signed ring issued trunk. Oh, ring issued. That doesn't mean.
What does that mean? That's maybe they spelled used wrong.
Rob, I know you tweeted earlier this week that you're buying speedos. What if you got the Hulk Hogan trunks instead and went to the beach?
Sure. Oh,
$300.
You know we're probably similar sizes.
Yeah, you're the same height as he is.
Yeah. I wonder what his waist size is. Let's see.
Wait, so you get them in his size? You can't get them in like your size so you can wear them?
No, they're his. They're literally his.
They're his ring.
I gotta feel that he's girthier than you, Rob.
Oh,
Wait, stomach wise or penis wise?
Stomach.
No, his stomach is flatter than mine. No,
but he's like so wide and with the like barrel chested and all of that. I don't know.
And also, this is like 1986 that he's selling this to you. Like, he was much more bloated from steroids and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a 40 waist, so that's pretty wide.
I would say he's around that size, but it was like more muscle, but it was still
Google.
I mean, his pythons were a 24, so his waist has got to be.
It's a 37, but that could have been. Is that him at his prime? Who knows?
And it's stretchy, so you could still get into those. It's just your cock and balls outline would be on full display.
So I did decide to get a speedo for swimming.
Yeah.
Because I finally understand like the actual benefit of it, which is that shorts are kind of restricting for certain swim movements. Like I found myself adjusting lifting up my shorts a bit. And I already wear short shorts. I wear like the 4-inch inseam shorts, like the above knee, like the high above knee.
I'd like to prefer to think of it as you already knew the benefits of a Speedo, but you had the normal amount of shame.
Yes.
That you wouldn't wear one, and now you're about to be 40 and you're just giving up.
Oh, certainly. Well, the thing is, I'm not like with the Speedo, like I would wear, what are those called? Like the board shorts over them. Like I'm not just going to enter the beach in the Speedo, but then right before going in the water, I would take off the board. It's exclusively for swimming.
Sid, I give it 3 weeks before he just leaves his house with the Speedo.
Yeah, he's in the car in a Speedo and a tank top.
No, I feel very naked in that. I mean, it's just you're wearing briefs. But it's comfortable but for swimming, it's like, who cares? Like, who's looking at you when you're swimming? And also, I want to mention to your point, Darren, of the shame. I'm like in the minority of men with outfits that like I would say 85% of the men that go swimming at the pool are wearing speedos. It's like an accepted part of the
but they're all in
culture
their mid-60s.
Certainly.
Why you?
But even the young guys, I mean, I guess there are some young guys that wear the Lycra shorts, but if I'm going Lycra, I'm going to go all the way. It's gotta go.
So wait, have you already done this or have you not actually?
So I ordered a pair at size 40, but they were too tight. They couldn't contain the package.
Oh,
so
really?
I had to return them.
The whole package or the package?
Well, really, it's the issue isn't necessarily my package, but just more my butt cheeks and like the thigh.
Well, you got three of them, so
yeah.
So the whole package, not the package.
Yeah. Not my crotch, more so the under, like the hamstring area.
The side, the inner
the
fupa.
underbutt.
The inner
underbutt.
The fat
not the fupa.
The fat under pussy area.
The below pussy area. Yeah.
Taint. You've got a massive taint.
The second fupa. Fupa south.
My fupa rests comfortably on top of the speedo. That's fine.
that's they put that on the box. That's like the tagline. For
So I'm still waiting for the different size to come in, and then maybe I'll post a thirst trap.
How about a Borat slingshot? Did you ever consider that?
No, that I'm too shy to do. That's a bit much.
I think you're covered up more with the slingshot.
More fabric.
How are you covered up more? Not at all.
Because
The
there's
slingshot
a
is
part
like a
up
thong.
here. There's a
Covers
part
your
up here,
nipples.
though.
But it's a thong. It's not a speedo. Is not a thong. A speedo
Right.
is brief. It covers far more of your crotch.
But
I'm
none
more
of your
concerned
top.
about the crotch coverage. Like I don't think my balls definitely would fall out of that thong.
Would you ever go to an all nude pool?
100%.
Your balls fall out of Jinkos.
Go to an all nude pool? I don't know. It wouldn't be convenient to swim nude. I want my junk to be secured.
It just flaps around. You think it slows you down?
Yeah.
You're not as aerodynamic with your balls out.
That's what
Well, you feel
I
like
think.
a
My
fish.
shorts slow me down a little bit. That's why
You
I
feel like a
decided to
merman.
switch to the speedo. I mean, I've swam naked. You know, I've gone to like the bathhouses that are naked. So but it's not something you can do competitively, or you know.
Who are you
Not
competing with, Rob?
I don't mean, but you know what I mean. Like something that you're doing actively. It's like a more of a just swim across the pool, but like to do laps, it's not comfortable. I want my nuts secured, not flapping around everywhere.
Sad.
The most
One
sensitive
day.
part of your dick. Give it to me.
In the pool.
Too
But yeah.
far. Too far.
We're definitely going to need Speedo pics when available. We could
You
have a
can-
Photoshop contest.
Or you could toggle that with the Ron Jeremy trolling picture.
Oh, no.
My belly button is far sexier than Ron Jeremy's.
That's a low bar, but yeah.
Literally.
Low. It's low, all right. It's like he's like 4'11".
We have new footage of Vince Neil.
Oh, dear.
Is
surprised there wasn't more
is
of
he in a
this.
Speedo?
He's not in a speedo. He's in a caftan.
No, he's in a B. Arthur outfit.
Speaking of Sophia.
Yeah.
Footage of Shout at the Devil.
Shout at Sophia.
What? Go back. Go back. Do that again. Do that part again.
That was great.
That can't be real. That cannot be real. That's gotta be.
Someone released a cat on the stage. He's like Adam Sandler.
It really my God.
Good
That-
stuff.
Can we hear that again, please?
Shout out the devil. Shut up.
La la la!
I think this is the best Vince Neil clip we've ever played. I think this is the
Yeah.
new top spot.
Shabba-da-dabba-da-da.
You know what, though? To be fair, he was really distracted. Someone in the front row had a Confederate flag sign, and he just...
Are you sure? I thought it was a Bulgarian flag.
No, Bulgaria is where he got the caftan.
Oh, okay. Imported. It's very chic.
Yak hair.
Are yaks big in Bulgaria?
Probably. I don't know. Someone
Yak
prove
at
me
the
wrong.
devil. Yak. Yak. Yabba-dabba-dabba-boo. Yaka-taka-taka. Thank you for being a friend. Do-do-do-do.
Oh my God, that was incredible.
One more time, Rob. One more time.
Sure.
Please.
But
Here it comes.
it sounds like it's sped up and slowed down at the same time. I
People
can't
paid
even
$400 to see this. It's
That's-
unbelievable to me.
It's crazy. It's
Oh
gotta
my
be
God.
like rich people that were fans of Motley Crue when they were young, never got to see them do a show, and they have to see it on a bucket list, even if it's not good anymore. That's the only person
Yeah.
who could possibly be in it. Well, all right, that's 80% of the audience. The other 20% is people who haven't been following Vince Neil clips and are completely shocked and appalled right now.
Yeah, people. Yeah, exactly. People that are not online that are just
Right.
like, oh, I loved Motley Crue.
Right.
Let me go see them.
Oh,
I could see that. Oh, boy.
astounding.
Shout out the devil.
I almost want to go to one of these shows just to experience this in person, but I wouldn't pay money for it.
You can just go in the other room and step on your cat's tail. And open don't do that. Don't do that. But it would. But don't do that.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
please don't send us videos of yourself stepping on cat's tails.
Oh God! What? How did we get to video? I wasn't suggesting anyone do it.
That's what I heard. No,
Sick bastard.
You're a very toxic person, Rob.
I do not condone any harm towards any animal.
Whoa. Whoa.
All right, let's read some emails.
Okay.
Of course, you can email us riplivecast@gmail.com. It's the email address. And we have from Israeli guy. He wishes us a happy
Shavuot.
Shavuot?
Shavuot.
Shavuot?
Yes.
Shavuot?
Shavuot.
Shavuot?
Isn't there a T in there?
There is.
And it's silent or it's pronounced as an S?
I think maybe the Hebrew people say it differently, but all the Jews in America say Shavuos.
Okay.
It might be a Yiddish thing.
What is the holiday? This is a big one, right?
I have no idea. It's a very religious, like, holy day. That's all I know. It's not one of those
It's a
like
two-day
Purim or
situation.
something. Yeah, it's not like a happy one. It's like the suffering of the Jewish people day.
It's one of the 3 pilgrimage festivals that occurs on the 6th day of the Hebrew month of Sivan. In the Bible, Shavuot marked the wheat harvest in the land of Israel. The date also marks the revelation of the 10 Commandments to Moses and the Israelites at Mount Sinai, which, according to tradition, occurred on this date in 1312. Okay, so this is when the 10 Commandments dropped. The hottest mixtape of its time.
And the more I think about it now, I think it is a Yiddish thing because they also have Sukkot, which is later in the year, and the Jews they say Sukkos. The Jews in New York say Sukkos.
It's like how New York, like northeastern Italians say mozzarella instead of mozzarella.
So on this Wikipedia, it's pronounced Shavuot. That's how they say it with the T, without the S.
Good Yom Tov.
It's the so there you go. So this is like the epilogue holiday to Passover. It's like the sequel. And in celebration, Israeli guy sent us this remix of a Guns N' Roses classic. Let's play it.
Yeah, shofar, baby.
Wait, was that what Vince Neil was doing just now?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, you're right.
He was celebrating Shavuot.
Yeah.
Who knew?
That was their Borough Park show.
Yappa papa papa papa. At the devil.
Yappa pie, brother. They should do a duet. Do the Yappa pie song.
Now I want more shofar covers of
Are there?
Guns.
There's
He wasn't really covering it. He just played that, and they matched it up with the Guns N' Roses song.
That's fair. Shofar rock cover. We need more of these.
It's not going to yield anything.
Well, there's one result that's heavy metal shofar. Oh, it's the same thing.
Is that David E. Rainman playing the shofar?
It might be.
Maybe Avi from Magruder Grind?
I would
What are other famous metal Jews?
Barbra Streisand. No?
She gets in the pit sometimes.
Corpse Grinder? Fisher. That's a Jewish name.
I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes slow and sometimes fast.
The best Evanescence song.
Is she talking about sex? Is this like a?
Happy New Year.
Is this like a subtle sex imagery? Sometimes slow and sometimes fast. Shofar is a peener.
I bet you can find porn somewhere of a woman fucking herself with a shofar. I bet that exists.
Oh, there's a band, Chaos Act. They have a song called Roar of the Shofar.
Sounds like the intro to SmackDown or something.
I'm going to scan ahead. Disappointing. All right.
Yeah, I don't know what was so Jewish about that.
So then we have an email from Sean.
Our former co-host?
Different Sean. Not the one that...
R.I.P. a legend.
All right, lads. Sean from Glasgow, Scotland here. Pronounced Glasgow, not Glasgow. Oh.
What you just said.
Glasgow. Been listening since 2016. In that time, I had gotten married, I got a dog, bought a house, had 2 kids, got a university degree at community development, which is like turning Rage Against the Machine into a degree, and got divorced.
Oh, no.
Wow. And all we've been doing is doing a show.
Circle of Life. No, I did a few of those things too.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
Do we take credit for these events in his life? Since they all happened since he started listening to us?
He says that the Livecast has helped me laugh my balls off throughout the whole thing.
That might be why your wife left you. You
No
don't have
balls.
balls anymore.
Ballless.
At least he got 2 kids before the balls fell off.
Try some CDB.
Don't know if you guys know much about Scotland. Although we're part of Britain and have that cunt of a monarchy as head of state, the majority, arguably, of us don't really want anything to do with that and would rather be an independent nation. The British government is a right-wing shitshow, but in Scotland, we have a devolved parliament with a government whose primary agenda has been independence and socialism for 16 years. But the prevailing homogeny of Westminster has pretty much blocked any meaningful attempts other than a 2014 referendum, which was marred by one-side British broadcasting. I'm liking all this political lesson here. Scottish politics are way more progressive than that of the UK government. We have free schools, free meals for kids, free college, free university, free healthcare, free prescriptions. No medical weed, though, Rob. Free period products in bathrooms, childcare payments, etc. Pretty welcoming to refugees and asylum seekers. Anti-war, anti-nuclear, although England stores their new cash in Scotland. Scotland is also one of the highest producers of clean energy in Europe and voted overwhelmingly against Brexit. I'm starting to think this is just someone working for the Scottish government trying to get us to just read Scottish propaganda.
Oh, is this clips from Wikipedia? I wanted to say one thing, Rob, to make sure you kind of glossed over this, but he said nuke cash, meaning their nuclear cash, not their new cash. It sounded a little. No, I'm being serious. Like might have been a little hard to discern that. So they keep their nukes in fucking Scotland, which is crazy.
Anyway, apologies for my nation dump. It just frustrates me as much as your country frustrates you. Love it. Oh, I think I missed something. Scotland's also one of the highest producers of clean energy in Europe and voted overwhelmingly against Brexit. We're now living through what's being called a cost of living crisis. Anyway, apologies for the dump. Blah, blah, blah. Love all the political shit shooting you guys do, as well as Sid's brutal one-liners, Darren's spot-on impressions, and Rob's candid goofiness. Also, Rob, congrats on coming out on the show. The following episodes were so funny. Would you fuck 1999 Ministry Undertaker if Paul Bearer was allowed to watch?
I mean, I'm not gay, but that's the most visually unappealing Undertaker.
Is Paul Bearer like going woo in the background?
Yeah, like I don't understand. Like, is he implying that I definitely would fuck Undertaker, but adding Paul Bearer creates a wild card?
Yes.
Because no, I wouldn't fuck Undertaker. Period. He's not attractive.
Aw.
You wouldn't fuck
that
Undertaker.
Ginger Heine?
Like 25-year-old Undertaker, you wouldn't.
No, he has no body. He's got no body, yada yada. Where's that booty?
He's very. I understand what Rob's saying. He's like a slab of meat.
Yeah,
he's
like a giant stick.
He's a great wrestler. I'll stand by that. But he's not visually appealing in any way.
Yeah, he has no physique. He has no curves.
I think. He's just. We were talking about
Mark Calloway. This is fucked up.
We were talking about Hulk Hogan earlier. I feel the same applies to him somewhat. He's just an off-putting person to look at, and I think that contributed to his persona too. Like he's supposed to be a scary guy, but he's he looks like a big, like weird-looking person. I don't know what another better way to put it is.
Yeah.
Because all his facial features are like right in the middle of his face. Like he's got a big ass head with a small area delineated for all of his facial features. And you don't see too many 6'11" redheads too. I think that's just the shock of that is a little odd.
But I mean, Rob wouldn't see him that way because he'd be bent over.
If you see him without the trappings of The Undertaker, like when he was Mean Mark in WCW, which, by the way, that's hilarious to me, that someone saw this guy with all this talent, and they were like, well, what do we name him? Like, okay, what's his name? Mark. Okay, Mean Mark. Leave me alone. I got some other shit to do. Where's he from? Texas. Okay, give him some leather pants.
I bet he supplied his own leather pants.
Maybe. But they were chaps, though.
Shifty Shortcake asks if Rob is into big bad booty daddies.
Scott Steiner was attractive, sure.
Really? I wouldn't have predicted that.
Yeah.
You mean like 91 Scott
Like
Steiner?
mullet Scott
WWF?
Steiner or Big Papa Pump?
Mullet Scott Steiner. Yeah, I was definitely attracted to Mullet Scott
But
Steiner.
when he started roiding like extremely?
Not so much, but I wouldn't kick him out of bed. Not as much, but
I don't think there would be room for the two of you in the bed.
Well, it'd
Is
have
the
to be a
problem.
California King for sure.
What if Samoa Joe was added as a threesome and then there was a 33%
Maybe a
chance?
33% chance I'd be getting the hell out of there.
But there's a 6.5% chance you come on both of their faces, and Samoa Joe isn't even involved because you're not even going to try. So,
Rob, would you let Gangrel bite your neck? No, thank you.
really,
I mean, he wouldn't puncture the skin. Just a little.
I don't want a Gangrel hickey. I don't want one.
That's
what
a
if-
fun sound.
I don't want
What
people to
if
be like,
that
"Hey,
was-
where'd you get that hickey?" Oh, it's this vampire wrestler.
you
You
got
don't
to
have
admit
to answer them.
it's hack. You didn't tell us about your hickey for fucking 11
Yeah.
years.
I
Now
told
you're
you about it
just
just off
volunteering.
air.
You told us. I was speaking for the audience.
Yeah. All this time it was Gangrel. Who knew?
Wow, that would be a swerve if it really wasn't who he told us it was, because he didn't want to tell us it was Gangrel.
It's like when the popular kid in high school is hooking up with an ugly girl and doesn't want anybody to know, so he's extra mean to her
Wow.
in public, but then in the
Am
stairwell
I
they're
the
finger
popular
banging.
guy or the ugly girl in this?
No,
scenario?
Gangrel is the ugly girl.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of accurate.
Yes, it's very accurate.
Yeah.
Let's go through our Spotify picks.
Oh.
Every week we each pick a song, throw it on a Spotify playlist that we call the RIP a Livecast music break. And we have nearly 2 days worth of songs to listen to on there. We each add a track every week. There's 517 songs. They're nearly 35 hours already. This week I picked a track from Flying Lotus, Do the Astral Plane.
That's like a DJ, right?
Yes, the way I got into him was through Adult Swim. He did all the music for their interstitials.
Didn't he also when Hannibal Buress briefly had a Comedy Central show, wasn't Flying Lotus like the in-house DJ for that? I think.
I didn't see that show, but I could believe that. He's very in with the comedians. And great DJ, very fun. I saw him live right before the pandemic started. It was very fun. And he's a really, really great DJ, really good beats. And this album, Cosmogramma, I was super into it like 5 years ago. And then I kind of forgot about it. And it recently came up in a shuffle. And I got like back into it again. So it's a fun album. And this was one of my favorite tracks on it. Do the Astral Plane. That's my pick. Sid, what are you picking?
Well, before I tell my pick, RIP this week is just for Tina Turner.
Oh,
Dying,
yes.
the legend. I did not pick a Tina Turner song. I looked for like rock and roll or punk rock Tina Turner covers and I couldn't find anything good. So I tried, but either way, RIP Tina Turner. I will say, I don't know if I can't remember. I probably told this story before, but the first like vaguely sexual feelings I could remember having were in thinking of Tina Turner's armpits as a like probably like a second grader.
Well, like fucking them, like putting your dick between her
Not-
arms.
Explain.
Well, like my first crush I can remember was Olivia Newton-John in Grease, but that was a very like wholesome kind of, she looks so nice, I want to give her a
kiss her.
hug kind of thing. Yeah. The first thought I remember that I knew was like somehow naughty and I couldn't just talk about was like Tina Turner. She would always have like these dresses on where like her arms were exposed and she'd like raise her arms and it felt naughty to like see a female celebrity's armpit to me as a kid. Like I didn't know that there were even naughtier things you could see. That was like the pinnacle. And Tina Turner's armpit.
She was very
She was ripped,
half naked and like ripped. Yeah, looking great. I was blown away by listening back to her music this week. How much of it was rock oriented? Like there's like hard rock guitars, and saxophone, lots of saxophone. But it was like rock music. It wasn't like necessarily R&B, and that was really impressive. Like I didn't really think of her in that light.
And her voice was like a very rock singer voice.
Yeah.
That's it. a lot of her, the first half of her career was R&B and stuff, but it's not available. It's not on Spotify for some
Really?
reason. Yeah, like everything she put out on Spotify starts in like the 80s that I saw. Maybe there's something wrong with
I wonder if that's
my
like
internet or
Ike
something. but-
related.
Yeah, I was gonna say
possibly.
maybe it's his because he owns the rights to all the music that they did together. That was like the thing in the
Right.
before. She was
Okay.
like, "You could have everything, just give me the name, and I'll
So-
make my own way."
She so like her later stuff in like the mid 80s to onward never like really appealed to me that much because it's just very poppy. It's more like radio friendly, and her shit like where she really shines is when she was doing the Motown.
Like,
stuff,
what are some
you know?
what are some standout tracks for you, Darren?
Well, you know what she used to cover all the, so like Proud Mary, obviously. She used to cover all that was like a lot of her. She has an album called Acid Queen, which is like all her, you know, standards that she did, but like it's like all whatever she's doing, Motown type stuff, 60s type stuff, soulful stuff, top notch. When she did like We Don't Need Another Hero, and she did the Bond track for that's what was it, Goldeneye, and like, you know, even What's Love Got to Do with that? It's okay, so it's personal
what
to her.
about Private Dancer?
It's just too
Simply
syrupy.
the best.
I'm your private dancer.
I think she's just way better
Dancer
suited to
for
doing this
money.
high energy stuff, you know, high energy.
Yeah,
you know.
I agree. The high, like her high energy is so infectious.
Yeah.
Watching her live footage.
I wanted to pick a Tina Turner song, and they didn't have anything of her old shit, you know. So I didn't. I went with a different. But Sid, you didn't give your actual song yet.
I didn't really have any inspiration this week, so it was one of those things where I was just like, okay, quick, what's the first band that pops into my head? And it was Chicks Dig It, the Canadian pop punk band from the late 90s, early aughts, and I just picked one of their songs from my favorite Chicks Dig It album, the song 323. It's about his shitty Mazda. That's all.
Okay.
We don't need another Mazda.
It's true.
Yeah. I played a Run DMC song. The song is called Sucker MCs, and it's their breakthrough hit, and it's from the album, the soundtrack to the movie Crush Groove, which they're also in. But the reason I picked it is more interesting than the song, I think, because I was thinking about this. Somebody mentioned, I was talking to somebody that I met, and they were saying how they were from the town of Cheshire, Connecticut. And I went to a baseball camp in Cheshire, Connecticut for 1 week. And it was the only time in my life that I went to a sleepaway camp. And it was like they would train you for baseball. And I have more stories from this 1 week of my life than I think I have from all the rest of my 40 plus years combined in my life.
Jesus
I could do a whole podcast episode talking about all the things that happened to me when I was 10 years old when I went to this camp. But one of the things that happened was that they paired us up with roommates. So at 10 years old, you had a little roommate. You shared 2 beds in the room. You would go out to the common areas, do all the things you're supposed to do. This kid, we just immediately clicked. He's an awesome kid. His name was Mark. He's a black kid who was adopted by white parents. He used to joke around that he was like different strokes and all that. And he sang that song about 150,000 times, the Sucker MC song. Wow. Once I heard this person mention Cheshire, Connecticut, my mind did the leapfrog thing and went straight to Sucker MCs, and it took me back to like a very nice time in my life. Although the rest of that camp was very frightening and traumatizing. I did make a good friend there, and maybe I'll tell one of those stories one day in the future. I may have told 1 or 2 already. Like I shit my pants and I got caught disposing of the evidence in a trash can.
At the Tad Steaks? Or this?
No, this is actually shitting my pants. They got out of my pants at the Tad Steaks.
So at least you got better at it.
In fact, that kid Mark, here's what happened. I shit my pants. They brought me back to the camp. I didn't know what to do. We were out at some field, like doing some baseball drills or something. I came back. I didn't know what to do with them, so I stuffed them in a bag and I put them in the back of the closet. I was afraid to take them out to the garbage or whatever. And they were just sitting in the back of the closet, and it was the last day of camp, and Mark came back to the room to say goodbye to me because his white millionaire parents showed up to take him off back home. And he was like, hey, man, it was really nice to meet you. I had a great time. Why does it smell like shit in here? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, well, okay. And then he did another verse of Sucker MCs and he left. I was like, do Sucker MCs one more time. He's like, okay, just
so
for old
sweet.
time's sake. He did it, and then he left. And then my mother picked me up, and I took the shit out on the way out to go meet her. And I dumped it in the garbage, and someone from the second floor window of the camp dormitory was like, I see what you did with those shitty drawers. I seen you. I seen you. Like, just shit, an old man.
That was me. I'm sorry, Darren.
Who cares? What are you supposed to do with shitty drawers? What are you supposed to do with shitty drawers?
Yeah. So
leave them inside the room that you're not returning to. Maybe.
I didn't feel comfortable. I felt like that was a moral violation.
So see, this is what you get for being a moral person. You got.
So you didn't have any shit on your pants? Like you didn't smell like shit after you got rid of your.
No, I showered when I got back. Obviously,
but like when you got in the car, you didn't shower before that, right?
I did. Of course I did. There was like an 8-hour gap between coming back with the shitty drawers and then leaving.
Okay. Oh, okay. You just didn't have anywhere to dispose of it.
I didn't. No, I didn't. Not that I didn't have anywhere to dispose it. I was ashamed to be seen doing it. So I was like, I waited till the very last minute when I could do it and make a getaway. But I still got caught somehow.
Yeah, how would they know what exactly you're disposing of?
Here's why. Because I took the bag and I turned it upside down and did this.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I was a 10-year-old kid. Leave me alone. I was traumatized.
Well, you learned since then, I guess.
I don't know why. It's a valid question. I don't know why I did that.
Well, lesson learned.
That's like the fourth most interesting story of what happened to me.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Well, we'll be hearing plenty of them in the future. And, of course, if you want to hear more Livecast, you can always subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/RIPLivecast. $5 a month gets you access to 2 bonus episodes every friggin' month. And we have a few great ones up on right now. What are our latest ones?
The latest one was one of our naughty links, right?
Oh, that's right. We did sexy stories. We have a new favorite song that we discovered on this one, and we learned about cockroaches.
And just a little teaser. We last week I prematurely said that we were going to do a watch along of the show Banded. But that show is so bootleg that you can't even find it streaming online. So we, at the last moment, we discovered a new Vince Neil documentary from last year that's even better. And we did a watch along of that. And that's coming out on June 1st. And it's fantastic.
This is how bootleg that show is, okay? I'm going to break it down for you. We watched on our Patreon Brooklyn 11223, which is basically a glorified pilot that lasted 8 episodes somehow. And that's online, available to stream. And Vince Neil's show Bandit is not.
Unreal.
Yeah, and that show was from like 10 years ago. And this one came out last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so the documentary also, I was thinking about this documentary, and, you know, other than his early life, like once it gets to him joining Motley Crue, it then completely turns into a Motley Crue documentary. Like everything is just about Motley Crue at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
But we had a great time roasting him. That's up this Thursday.
And we actually, I will say a little tease for that. We learned something new about the death of Razzle that we did not know before. Something very interesting.
Yeah. So much was learned. So if you're enjoying our ride roasting Vince Neil as much as we are, hit up our Patreon for a little more. And if you like what you hear, you want to throw us a few extra bucks, $10, you become a top Livecast fan of the week, and you get a shout out at the end of the show, which is right now. And listen up, brother. I want to tell Eric, I want to tell Benjamin, eat your vitamins, eat your CDB, and get high, dude. And Sam, I am Dan R. I want to trip on some ayahuasca with you, brother. I want you to swallow some Hogan brand ayahuasca, dude. Puke your guts out, and then you're going to hallucinate, and you're going to see Mindy Mayer's Kippa. You're going to see Sasur Sasusit's Jack. and they're going to come to you in a dream, and they're going to say, oh, Hugo likes tacos, and oh, Lando Dix, brother. And then you're going to say to them, I want a drink of LaCroix, dude. Okay, brother man.
I've been cooking up a big bathtub full of meth in Hollywood Hogan's bathtub meth lab, brother, dude. It's 99% pure, dude.
And I'm gonna give that meth to Doug Pigman, brother.
You giving it away?
Losing my voice.
Hulk, don't give it away. You can find yourself a billionaire tech bro to sell it on an app.
I'm going to get some investments from Corey and Scotty H. Speaking of H, going to do some H with Douglas. Who are you, Levison, brother, dude,
Yeah.
Jack? And then I'm going to say, H, guys, it's Josh, dude. All right, that's our show, folks. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week for the first show of June. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.